if you are watching this in the future, watch my video from, when did I publish it? Yesterday on YouTube. Because I know I just, today's live stream I'm sure will be fun. But okay, good morning JN, morning Jeremiah, GM DevTuber. Okay, I just want to point something out real quick for those watching on YouTube at least. Oh man, where'd that go? I'm on Fartcoin. I don't want to be on Fartcoin. I want to be on Bitcoin. Bush, I'm doing well. How are you? Good morning, Phantom. Hello, Brex. Good morning, Sam. All right, Bitcoin RSI. Phantom, remember you? Hey, what's up, Amir? No, I vaguely remember you. Is there anything specifically that you're asking about? RSI is at 40. RSI is at 40. When we are in an uptrend and RSI goes to 40, that's the bottom. There's lots of other metrics. I'm going to put together all the metrics in YouTube, you know? So on my YouTube, my next YouTube video, I'll show all the metrics that would communicate that we are not at the bottom. Oh, you always say it's over. Yeah, I remember that. We're not at the bottom, but a bottom. So, all right. XRP buy-in 288. I bought some XRP at 295 yesterday. Good morning, it's Zeki. Bitcoin below 100. I very much do not believe that's what's going to happen. All right, guys, I'm live on YouTube, World War Bitcoin. I know I'm not going to be able to keep up with all the comments, so you have a better chance on YouTube. Yeah, I definitely remember Phantom. You always say it's over. LCX pumped, really? Good morning, Jamie. What? LCX? Wow, all right, it's at 14 cents. That's hilarious. Yeah, why is the market red? Is it over? When should I sell? This will sum up today. Link looks great. Link, man, what's up with Chainlink? Link doesn't care. Link's, you know what? Oh, dude. Oh, you got to be kidding me. I had a limit order set on Chainlink at 23.3. It went to 23.34. That kind of stuff, man, that kills me. It's not going under $100,000. I mean, in the bear market, it'll go under 100,000, but no, not right now. Bought some Doge. Okay, DevTuber. Will ETH make a new all-time high? Yes. Closed API 3 trade at 127. Thanks. Dude, yeah, I had my API short, my API 3 short. I wish I closed it there. I didn't. I kept on moving my stop loss down, but I closed. I should have closed it at $1.26. And Izzy, you did it right. Congrats, because I mean it certainly bounced from there. Epic. I'm not going to look at Epic right now. I mean Epic. I wouldn't be surprised if Epic chopped for a bit. It had a very nice move recently. So, Crow, buy and sell, please. I don't know. If it were to get down to 12.3 cents, that'd be a good entry to enter. Let's see. Good afternoon, Bert. Redemption is watching on YouTube and commenting on YouTube. Yo, Alex, your Rismus call was spot on, but I missed entry. What do you think is a good entry? Rismus pumped again. I don't know what to say. I mean, Rismus is going to continue to just climb until at least October. You know, I think the PVP will really turn on. There's no PVP right now, but it will really turn on in October, like late October. Pengu much lower. Pengu's been holding up pretty well given everything that's going on right now. I mean, it lost the 50-day moving average. It's probably going to go a little bit lower. Yeah. Similar to last cycle, link up when rest down, market cycle normalizing, Q4 run up. Yeah, guys, I mean, I laid this out as soon as when we had that false breakout last week and we had that terrible PPI report. it took me like 24 to 48 hours to just kind of absorb that. And then I made a video. I made it on Monday, published it on Tuesday, giving like 3 different scenarios for what I think is going to happen over the next month to month and a half, you know. And I talked about 3 different scenarios. One of those scenarios is not happening. It already is invalidated. And that was the most bullish scenario, which was just a bounce off the 7-year trend line. So now my mindset is, okay, next level would be a bounce off the May 2025 peak at $112,000. And we're getting there. But the more we're doing this, the more I just tend to think that the third scenario is what's going to play itself out, which is a move under $110,000 for Bitcoin. And everyone's saying, oh no, it's over. It's just like in June when Bitcoin went under $100,000 on a Sunday, and it was like, oh no, the sky is falling. And then we bounce right back and rally to a new all-time high. That's kind of my mindset. You think there will still be bear markets for Bitcoin with the Bitcoin ETF? Yes, I do. I do think it's going to look different. I wouldn't be surprised if the next bear market, like alts, got obliterated. But then Bitcoin, like everyone was saying, Bitcoin's going down 80%, 85% in the bear market. And then everyone's, retail is just on the sideline waiting for Bitcoin to go that low, and then it doesn't go that low, So I wouldn't be surprised. Bitcoin to 108, it could get to 108. Under that scenario that I was talking about. Alts rally in Q3, Q4, Q1. I guess I'll say Q4 right now. I mean, I'm always agnostic about that kind of thing. So Q4, I think we're just kind of on unstable ground right now with that PPI report. That we need to hear what Powell says after their Jackson Hole meeting. We need to see what the next unemployment report looks like the first Friday of September. And then the next CPI and PPI reports, I think a lot of people are just going to be holding their breath. But then the rate cut on September 17th, which is going to happen. Let's see. What would your link sell price had at $23? Buy hit? Think we're going to hit 40. I mean, eventually we're going to hit 40. Barana, thank you for the follow. Chainlink, what would the sell have been? I mean, I would have probably already taken some off the table. So there is that. I would have probably taken some off the table. War needs to be over soon. We've rallied from 15 and change $1,000 in Bitcoin to 124 while the war has been going on. So could it maybe $28, maybe $28 for Chainlink, excuse me. Bitcoin dominance will shift direction and go up in September. It has done it almost every September. You might be right. Maybe it'll go to lower high. Solana price prediction, new all-time high. That's all I'll say about Solana. Thoughts on Tau opportunities to add into spot. Again, for those watching on TikTok, I am live on YouTube, World War Bitcoin. I opened a long yesterday on Tau. All right. And I am in it. I'm pretty much just, I have a stop loss at 345. I'm like, last I checked, I was pretty much at break even. So I fear that it will break down and go maybe to the 260 area, but that's why my stop loss is at 335. There's a good chance that this could hold. So tell us about AVAX. Good morning, Randy. Avalanche 22. It's holding up better than I thought it would, but I mean, It's kind of indecisive right now. I mean, I'm hoping that right now it's a higher low than its early August bottom. It might be, honestly. But there's nothing definitive I can tell you about Avalanche. Do you think Brett could surpass previous all-time high? Yes. What about XRP? So XRP, I'm not nervous. I'm not all that nervous about XRP right now. It is still within a window. You know, it bottomed out at 273 and it's right now at 284. So would I be nervous if it, you know, maybe not. You know, it might be in the middle of an ABC correction to where it would get down to the 786 fib at 262. If it got below 262, I think I'd be pretty nervous about it. But right now, I'm not worried about XRP. Still in ICP long. Unfortunately, yes. I just, you know, the downside is just not all that much. I mean, especially, I've talked about this already in my live stream. Probability wise, we are closer to a bottom for this week at least, you know, than we are to whatever, to dumping another whatever percent. So I'm gonna stay in that ICP long. It was a 2x long. I'm not like sitting here losing my shirt or anything. So ICP might for this week have already hit its bottom. ICP has to be one of your worst predictions. What are you talking about? Top-notch geography? You're talking about for the top of this for this cycle, or are you talking about just my entry on ICP? Because I'm not worried about my entry on ICP. And for if you're talking about for the cycle, I mean, I threw in the towel on that a year ago on my price targets that I made in early 2024. ICP risk to reward is very good, minimal downside risk. Let's see, can you look at ETH dominance? If you're talking about like just my entry being at the 200-day moving average for ICP, I'm like, dude, chill out, you know? I've been, if you're, you know, like in my Telegram group, I've been just doing bangers after bangers. I've been killing it in that group. So, hello, big boy. Good to see you too. How is Arrow holding so strong? Let's see, $1.28. You know, I mean, it's definitely doing well. The thing is, now again, with this theory, hypothesis, whatever, that we are very close to a bottom. All right, you're talking about top price predictions. Again, I threw that in the garbage over a year ago. So so maybe it'll get up to, maybe Arrow will get up to $1.61. Short term for Arrow. Bro, you look like the guy. Good morning, me. Good morning, Jonah. Bro, you look like the guy from Reacher. You have the same accent like him. I have no idea who you're talking about. I'm going to Google the guy from Reacher. I'm sure he's incredibly good looking. Alan Richson. I look nothing like this guy. Is that who you're talking about? He's white. He's white and he's way better looking than I am. You can't be talking about him. We're very close in age. That's weird. Okay, let's move on. All right. So ETH dominant. Sorry, I look exactly the same as this very good-looking white guy from the show called Reacher that I don't know anything about. Okay, well, thank you. Let's move on. ETH dominance is not topped. No, get out of here. Sorry, it's Zeki. No, ETH dominance looks super bullish. Any trades today? I'm buying some Bitcoin Cash. So I already did. But like, all right, Bitcoin Cash is just, I have a hard time believing that this is the end for Bitcoin Cash, you know? There's been plenty of significant red dips. I like my chances here. I'm white and didn't even know it. Where are you from? I'm half black and half white. Yeah, I'm Portuguese. I'm half Portuguese. And, well, I'm actually like 60% Portuguese because my dad has some Portuguese in him too. Had. All right. In the bear market, if Bitcoin dominance doesn't go down 70, 80%, what would you think more likely? 50% drop, maybe what? If Bitcoin dominance doesn't go down 70, 80, if Bitcoin doesn't go down 70, 80%, what do you think would be more likely? 50% drop? Okay, I'm with you, Sam, finally. All right. Yeah, maybe like 50, something like that. Yeah. Did you research Jobcoin? No. Sorry, give me some time. Let's see, Dogecoin. I don't know. I'm in Dogecoin. I'm going to be patient with Dogecoin. It'll have its day. So 21 cents. I mean, a lot of altcoins are in indecisive positions right now. Dogecoin, is it forming a higher low right now? I mean, it formed a lower high. Maybe it's forming a higher low right now. That's what I'm kind of feeling right now, that a lot of these altcoins are just forming higher lows. So when you think how close we are to alt season, given that false breakout last week, I think we've got at least another month and a half, something like that. Chances Bitcoin dominance gets back down to the low 40s. Low 40s. Ethereum would have to be a major player in that. I'm not going to write it off entirely, but I think it's a pretty low chance. And that it would mostly be Ethereum just melting faces, especially like if we get staking with the ETFs. Do you think Ethereum will outperform altcoins until ETH makes a new all-time high? Yes, 100%. Can you please tell us how Arrow is holding so strong? I have no idea. Thank you, GRGO, for the follow. What do you plan to buy during the bear market, particularly stocks, not crypto? I'll buy some MicroStrategy unless they liquidate. I'll buy a lot of MicroStrategy. I don't know about what else. Bitcoin Cash is the real Bitcoin. I'm not with you on that, but give me 5 million market cap Rismus Black. I'll blast 50 Sol. Good luck. I don't think it's getting there. So Ethereum Classics, the real Ethereum. Doge doesn't have Musk anymore. Doge, whatever. I mean, I have a 53-cent price target for Doge. So, HEEHEE, muscle. At some point, Randy, let's just not be miserable. Total 3, you say total 3 needs to break 1.16 trillion. Yeah, all-time high. Sure. Total 3 looks pretty good. I mean, looking at this chart. Oh, I missed a comment about the S&P. Total 3 it looks like it's in an uptrend. It looks fine. Somebody told me to look at the S&P 500 open today. All right, man, it's down 0.71%. I don't know what I'm looking at, honestly. S&P's down a decent amount. Yikes. So I mean, it just opened and dumped. Okay. I mean, this doesn't look as scary as earlier this month when we had that bad jobs report. That LCX pump was so unnatural. Yeah. Have you considered staking opportunities via Tau subnets? The APYs are exceptional. I've never considered it. I've never looked into it. That's all I'll say. Never looked into it. And I don't own any spot Tau anymore. I haven't for a while. But I'm in a long. Thoughts on Rivian? Let's see. Yeah. I've done. Oh wow, I've charted this before. I mean, look at. I mean, when does it stop back testing? At some point, it'll stop back testing and maybe do something. I'm seeing more and more Rivians on the road. That's a good sign. I want to make the most of UK's 20K free stocks and shares tax ISA. Okay. Can you give us a price prediction for HBAR and Litecoin? Price predictions. All right, HBAR. My HBAR price target was 42 cents. It got up to 40 already. It's probably going to go higher than that. Litecoin, 350. Will Loopring do what it's done previously? I don't think so. I really, I mean, the key tell with Loopring is that it went below its previous bear market bottom, and it just keeps on putting in lower lows. So no, I don't think Loopring has a chance of doing that. Let's see. You think a lot of altcoins reached their top December last year? No, I think we're going to go beyond that. How close are we to alt season? Not all that close right now. Litecoin is very interesting, likely going to be the next coin to get ETF. Yeah. I've always had a soft spot for Litecoin. You think we're going to keep going down today? I think I don't know about today. Day to day, I don't know. I think we're close to a bottom. Mid-October, Litecoin ETF. Hey, that sounds like a time when things would do very well. Crypto. So what about the gold/silver miners that you spoke about a while back? What about them? I still hold. I haven't sold a dime of my gold or silver miners. I'm up a good amount on them. They've kind of cooled off a little bit lately, but this is a multi-year, maybe even a 1 decade hold for those miners. So do you think LCX is breaking the 200-day? No. Where is it? Come on, 200-day. I don't believe that. I don't believe that this is a for sure break. I have a hard time, especially right now. If I could, I don't know of anywhere where you can short LCX, but if I could, I would right now. Then Solana and XRP after. Yep. Well, Solana has an ETF already. Let's see. Ponky is still one of the memes that will have its day at some point. Yes. Can you check Res USDT? What's Res? I don't know anything about this. I mean, the chart doesn't look terrible lately. Maybe forming a bull flag, but it's got to get through the 200-day moving average. So, all right, guys, for those on TikTok, I'm live on YouTube, World War Bitcoin. I may not be able to keep up with every comment on TikTok, but I can on YouTube. So head over there. So, all right, Sonic, the problem with Sonic, formerly FTM, is I can't find a chart that shows price history going back to 2021 like this. I don't know what to do with this. I just, not on TradingView at least, so I'm going to have to pass on that. How's the real Ethereum chart looking? I know you mean Ethereum Classic. So, I tend to think this is going to keep going lower. Maybe it looks like there's if it gets to 1846, I'm in really hard. So we are at a very risky spot with Bitcoin and traditional finance. It's shaky. I tend to still be of the mindset that that we still have a blow-off top in front of us. That I think it's more likely than not that we have a blow-off top in front of us. And that all of this selling, ever since that PPI report, man, that it's just because the ground is a little bit more shaky than it's been. So, but then what? Then what comes after that? What comes after when they cut rates in September, which they will? What do you think of Chainlink price? I don't think Pengu's making a handle. I think it's going to go down lower. I mean, Chainlink looks great, I don't have I had a price target of not a new all-time high. I think it was like $48, something like that. So price target for BNB. I'll stick with the one that I made in early 2024, which was like 1,800, something like that. I have 2K to throw at something. Any charts look good to dump it into? Don't be suspicious. All I'll say is like I bought some Bitcoin Cash today. Ski is of the opinion we run up until the rate cut and then sell off. When did you hear him say that? Because if he said it last week, then I understand why he would say that. This week, I probably would have agreed with him last week. This week, I don't. But if we do run up into the rate cut, yeah, I would expect a bit of a sell off. All right, LDO ETH. I don't need to check ETH. I talked about 4,100 or so being kind of like we could go down to that level and maybe even go lower. We could go lower and still maintain bullish structure. September is usually bearish. Said last night. Oh wow, okay. All right, I guess I disagree with him. I mean, either way, we're much more in agreement than we've been in the past. So. September is usually, Bitcoin seasonality. Here's the deal. September of 2024 wasn't that bad. It started out pretty poorly. But it doesn't have to be that September is just this terrible month. Look at Bitcoin returns historically in September. Last year, like I said, was the best year, 2024, 7.29%. But then other than that, it's like, all right, 2014 was bad, 2019 was bad, but otherwise it's been give or take 10%. Yeah, James, I saw that. Thank you. All right, let's see. I put 3,000 pounds in Bitcoin and gold, and it's delisted and it's sitting at 100 pounds, and I can only sell now. Bitcoin gold? Yikes. Okay, I'm sorry. I would have never, if you asked me about Bitcoin gold. All right, September post-halving year. So 2021. Oh, wait, I was looking at August. -7. 2017, -7. 2013, -1. We can live with that. So what? What about August post-halving years? So 2013 plus 30. 2017 plus 65, 2021 plus 13. So let's say we close every post-halving year, August has closed green and September lost a little bit, but not as much as August closed green. So right now, August is red. Let's say August closes red. I would expect September to not be that bad. Oh, sorry, LDO. Interesting. I don't know what to make about this. It blew through that 200-day moving average like it was nothing. If I had seen this a few days ago, I would have shorted it. Now, I don't know. Now it's like, maybe the shorting is done, or maybe it's just going to continue to grind down. Ever heard of ETH fan token, Dell Crypto? What? Sold at 1 million market cap, and now it's at 80 million. Never heard of it. All right, LDO pumps when ETH pumps. Okay. Interesting. Still hanging on to ICP. I'm going to continue to hang on to ICP. There's a zero, not a 0%. There's never a 0%. It's not going to get liquidated. It's a 2x. So yeah, I'll hold on to it. Ondo prospects with Oasis trading platform acquisition. Is LDO linked to Ethereum stake? I don't know anything about LDO. Any idea on Pulse Chain? Yikes. What's up with Pulse Chain? Come on. Meta. It's not on TradingView. I have no idea. It's not on TradingView. Will you add more to your ICP position? If it goes lower, there's a level I have in mind. If it were to go to that level, sure. That level is just the level it's gone down to every dump, like 454. It's hard to imagine a bear market with so many rate cuts. It's not hard for me. Look at what happens when they cut rates aggressively, at least, you know. Maybe I missed it. Did you sell Pundle? I sold Pundle. I bought Pundle. I bought back into Pundle. I'm just dancing the dance with Pundle now. So, Sunroy, thanks for the follow. Is XRP looking bearish? I wouldn't say yet XRP. I wouldn't quite say that XRP is yet looking bearish. There's a lot of different hypotheses that are swirling around in my head as to what's going to happen with LCX or with XRP short term. And I did already say, like, if it went below 263, I'd probably get a little nervous. Like if it had a daily close below that. How do you see the rest of August playing out? All right. I shared this on my X account. And then I'll look at Banana Gun. Because I do hold some Banana. I'm down on it, but I like it. So, how do I see the rest of August? I mean, for those on YouTube at least, this is the chart of what I'm thinking. In general, it's going to look like for the next month to month and a half. So we had UT phase B, the $124,000 move, and then we've just been grinding down more aggressively than what a creek would look like as far as Wyckoff reaccumulation is concerned. And then I do think at some point we're going to get below $110,000 for Bitcoin, and it's going to feel like it's over, that we're going to the bear market, and then that's going to be the perfect time to buy. And then at some point we're going to climb and grind and rally and hit a new all-time high and break an all-time high, and everyone's going to be holding hands and singing Kumbaya, you know, and talking about getting Lambos and stuff like that. So I don't know I don't know the timeline for when this is going to play itself out. But as far as I'm concerned, I have a lot of confidence that we are going to hit a new all-time high for Bitcoin and for Ethereum and for XRP and the total altcoin market cap. So Pulse Chain has a treasury of 170 ETH. Okay. I don't have a Mudang price target. I am bullish on it though. All right, thoughts on Banana. So whatever. No, not really. I don't really have thoughts. Aside from I bought some and I'm bullish. And I shared in my Telegram account, my Telegram channel, what I thought was a very compelling argument, not made by me, but by somebody else, a very compelling argument that you should be holding Banana Gun. They make money, for one. All right. How come you sold your spot Tau? I sold it in like December when things were pumping really hard. It was one of the cryptos that I sold when I sold 40% of my bag. I'm over leveraged on pudgy penguins, might have to exit for protection. Oh, 170,000. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, I only have spot for Pengu. So I'm sitting here comfortable. But of course, people are like, you know, they're going to hear me talking bullish about Pengu and do 10x leverage or something like that. Rismus went up a bit. I saw that. Rismus between now and probably like mid to late October is just a buy and hold. Pulse Chain's the real Bitcoin, yeah. Trading View doesn't show it because it's a scam. Okay, people panicking for no reason like always. Yeah, pretty much. Are you holding Epic in spot bags or is trading spot? I wouldn't trade because like there's nowhere, there's the gas fees with Epic. I don't want to mess with that. Is Banana Gun on Sol? I actually don't know where it is. Actually, I bought it on an exchange. I bought on Bitmart. So yeah, that's a good question. Slick and Paul, thank you for the follow. What's up with LCX pumping? I don't know, but if I could short it, I would. All right, Solana. What's up? Where's Solana? 179. Solana looks fine. You know, I mean, this is still in an uptrend. Chainlink still holding on. Already talked about Chainlink. Yeah, Chainlink looks great. Binance, it doesn't matter. It doesn't care about American economics. Same for Tron. So I don't hold any Binance, but I do hold some Tron. Oh man. All right, so H bar is either at a fantastic buying level, or if it loses this floor, it's gonna go down pretty hard. So the floor would be like 22.28. Something like that. Maybe, yeah. I don't know. Where can I buy Rismus? It's a Solana meme coin. I reckon if we don't have a proper alt season, retail will quit crypto for good because they rely on friends' opinion. That's why we should get an alt season. I don't know what to do with that comment, Ant-Man. Really don't know. There are some benefits that I see to us not having an alt season. Of course, I want an alt season, but I am so tired of the excess and the froth in crypto. I want it to be what we all dreamed it was going to be for those of us who were around in like 2017, you know. Setup here seems to suggest we hold up here for ETH at a level it has struggled to break through for 4 years, expecting it to hold here and then continue up. Yeah, I just talked about 4,100 as a level, as a level worth. I wouldn't be surprised if ETH ultimately held it. So I'm curious. I'm going to look at the 4-hour chart. I'm curious about if there's any bullish divergences on the chart. So, no. Unfortunately, there's not. Maybe soon. Maybe soon we'll get a bullish divergence. That's a bummer. What is SHBTC? Hi, Alex. What's your thoughts on Crow? Crow will pump hard when Crow is worth holding on to for sure. When things get really hot, Crow gets really hot. City back with the 4-0 win. I don't know. You know, I'm holding out some hope. That was a nice win for Manchester City. Oh, LCX, man, I hope LCX dies. Another LCX question, and no offense, Huevos. I'm just like, dude, okay, LCX pumped. It pumped 20%, something like that, 30%. I just remember when LCX was scorching hot in early 2024, and every third question was about LCX. And I'm just like, ugh. I just don't want, I don't want that. I don't want to experience that again. Thoughts on consolidating portfolio to ETH for protection? I think you're a little too scared, True Light. I just based on a couple questions. Now, I do expect Ethereum to outperform altcoins for a season for, I don't know, maybe a month and a half. But I think on a day like today, that's when you're going to ask that question. I would hold on. Let's see. How do you feel about LCX? LCX. Was that the one? Did any of you? Yeah. Okay. If any of you were around in 2024 and early 2024 on my live streams, I remember this one live stream. I was so frustrated with the LCX, with every third question being about LCX, that I did this sarcastic LCX dance. It was like da 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 LCX, you know, something like that. That just re-entered my mind. That's how annoyed I was with all the LCX comments. So again, If I could leverage trade LCX, I would short this hard right now. I do not believe that all of a sudden LCX is going to break through the 200-day moving average. Do you think this pump has to do with Ondo and Mika? I have no idea, Jake. Yeah. Your friend Jamil is glazing on this dip, as are all bears on X. Let them glaze. Today is whatever price Bitcoin gets to today is the bottom for this week. Protection time was like 3 years ago. Protection? Please, where's that chart? And pump, please and thank you. And would you please check out Bonk? What chart? Are you talking about? This is on my X account, WW Bitcoin. All right, so WW Bitcoin. USDT daily RSI topping and ETH RSI bottom potential short pump. That's what I think. Yep. For this week at least, for this week. And there's lots of things. There's metrics that I pay attention to. Short-term holder metrics that they have the level of their selling. If you look at it on chain, it's been a local bottom for the entire year. Okay, so there's that. There's Bitcoin's RSI being at 40. When we're in an uptrend, RSI bottoms out around 40. That's very likely a good. The only reason why that wouldn't be the entry would be that it's just over, for a while at least. But I don't think it's over. Is Jackson Hole today? I don't know. I don't know when Jackson Hole is. All right, USDT dominance. Yeah, all right, I read that. Yep. Thoughts on WorldCoin? Ugh. I just don't care about WorldCoin. That's why I groan. Yeah, there's nothing about this that I'm like, oh yeah, ooh baby, WorldCoin. LCX dead? I'm not saying LCX is dead. Have you ever heard of LCX? LCX thoughts. Why are people so obsessed with LCX? Thank you guys. Thank you. May have already been asked, but what do you think about Flare? Flare? I think you spelled it wrong. Flare. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Chart looks good. It just looks like it's in a range. That's way better than a lot of other cryptos. If ETH makes an all-time high in August, will the shorters be back and dump ETH fast? Oh, absolutely. All right, guys. I made this video last week, and then this is very true. You gotta remember what's going to happen. I say this with about like 98% certainty, is Ethereum will just barely break its 2021 peak, and then it'll dump. Like the shorters are going to dump it big time. And I have a limit order set for a short on Ethereum a little bit higher than its previous all-time high, because I'm going to ride that. That's what happens. We're talking about cycle peaks, breaking a previous cycle peak. This happens every time with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then it takes a week or two to put in a V-shaped recovery and break through that all-time high for good. So that's what's going to happen, and I'm going to ride that. I'm going to make some money off of that. But it's Zeki. That's just short term, very short term. I ask you about LCX like once a month and feel bad every time because of how often you used to get asked about it. I just wanted to get it to $1 and then I'm out of here. We'll see. All right, so Powell speaks on Friday. Jackson Hole. Yay. I'm sure he's gonna speak with a dovish tone. I have no doubt about it after that PPI report. So, but I think the market's already priced that in. KETA, so thoughts on KTA. KETA's in an uptrend. And, given how much it's dumped and still in an uptrend, this might not be a bad one to get into. It's such a a new crypto. I just don't know what to make of it. I think that's what this was. It just got front ran before an all-time high. Maybe, yeah, that's a good theory, Cody. May have already, all right, let's see. I'm stuck holding LCX bag. New coin, LCX, can you review? I'm here for it, man. I sold all my LCX when it hit 16 and put it into projects with better energy. I bought a little too much last couple of days. I don't want to catch a knife. All right, True Light, I understand. I'm telling you with enough confidence. Like, so we saw Bitcoin today go down to what? It got down to 112. Thank you. Oh, foregone. Thank you, I guess. It got to 112,368. If it doesn't go lower than 112,368, or sorry, if it goes lower than that, it's going to do that today. If not, then that's the bottom for this week. Foregone sent me a super chat on YouTube. You could send me like a $1,000 super chat and I'd still groan when I saw it, when I see Foregone or High Grounds. But okay, where to long, VeChain, and safe liquidation price. So now it's VeChain. What happened to Uniswap? Foregone. I mean, Uniswap is actually it's a good looking chart here and got very close to man, another one that got really. I said 983 was the entry for Uniswap, but you asked about VeChain and not Uniswap. So where to long VeChain? I mean, the difficulty with VeChain is I don't think it's getting back down under 2 cents. But there's a lot of resistance above it. So I think the risk to reward is not entirely favorable, but like higher low territory for VeChain. So, you know, it might have already gotten there 2.29 cents. And maybe now it's going to get up to the 200 day and get rejected there again. Or best case scenario, get up to 2.6 cents and get rejected there. So it's not necessarily a long that I'd be pursuing right now. I would rather have a bit more support below it. Chainlink, good to buy short term. Yeah, Chainlink, I would just buy and hold on to it and not worry about dips. What's the 200-day moving average? Are you asking what is that's the average price over the last 200 days? Since I said, oh man, can you do Uniswap too? I mean, I already kind of did. 983 was the entry, and it barely missed it. It didn't fill it entirely. So now, I mean, the risk to reward is in your favor right now if you were to get into Uniswap. Okay. I don't know half these cryptos anymore. Good for you, Dave. Bear market incoming sooner than bull market. No. I was with you for those first 4 words. I thought you were going to say bear market coming sooner than expected. Are you still targeting API $331? I threw in the towel on my price predictions over a year ago, BZ. Over a year. I don't know how many times I need to say that. So like some of those price targets are going to hit. But API $3 to $31 is very unlikely. Helium. All right, I was keeping up with all the TikTok questions, but I can't now. So, Helium doesn't look that great. Dude, BZ, you again with the Solana. I answered your question about Solana last week. What are you doing, man? And you're spamming that question. Like, I always find it funny people asking streamers for entry and exit points. It's so subjective based on time horizon and risk aversion. I don't think that's. I'd rather do that than give price predictions. What's your prediction for the rest of the year in 2026 for the stock market? Blow off top. That's what I think is going to happen. And then after that, I think the stock market is going to really struggle, and I think altcoins are going to get murdered. Sorry, I will just wait then. No, the fact, like I answered your answer, the answer that I gave you last week is still the same answer. That's the thing. Are you still thinking scenario B or C? Scenario A is not happening. It's been invalidated. I think C. I think scenario C. Devin, thank you for the follow. Just put a long on Bitcoin. I don't think that's, I think this is a good place to put a long on Bitcoin. And then, you know, where would I put a stop? Maybe 107. I really don't think it's going to get there, but if it does, do you still think we're going under 110? Yes. Now, you know, what would kind of be a thing that I would not, 109 stop, that's a little dangerous. But I don't know. Do what you got to do. So do I still think we're going under 110K? Let's say that we pump after Jackson Hole, after Powell speaks, then I guess I'll say no to that. Scenario B looks like it's happened. You know, it looks like I count that we got there. And what do I mean by that? Close enough to a back test of the previous all-time high. We got it within $300. So I think it's better to sell API and move to coins that have not pumped yet. No, API. So I had a short on API yesterday. I mean, it could go. No. The answer is no. What's your prediction on the next question for predictions? There we go. I'm to the party late. Scenario C is alt season after big pullback we're having now in Q4 2025. Every scenario A, B, and C ultimately lead to higher prices in the crypto market. But C involves the most short-term pain, which involves a move under $120,000. Sorry, under $110,000 for Bitcoin. Let's see. What are some good ETH betas for spot? I mean, you know, what do you want? You want me to say Chainlink? Of course I'm going to say Chainlink. I always like Aave. I have a lot of confidence with Aave. I don't know. Always good to get some Ethereum Classic. Longed ETH, stop loss 3,900. Okay. Thank you, True Light. I'll check it out. When is this dumpy over? Maybe it's already over. I think for this week, the bottom is today. Chad, thanks for the follow. You're welcome. Because of the internet. What are you making and losing on all these shorts? Most people just buy and hold and sell. I make money. You know, I'm down on some longs right now. But I do better on shorts than longs. I rarely lose on shorts. So can you look at Fat Cat? I'm not going to look at Fat Cat. Fat Cat, I'm very bullish on Fat Cat. I know last I checked, it was at 2.6 million. The chart looks really strong. Good entries to low leverage long ICP and XRP. I mean, if you're talking about low leverage, like I think now is a good time to put in some low leverage. And when I say low leverage, I mean 1 or 2x. Are you going to rotate a big part of your portfolio, or are you not rotating this time and just exiting into stables? I'll rotate. I don't know. So I have. Well, yeah, I guess at the end, I'll look back and I'll be like, I wouldn't be surprised if I exited like 50% and rotated 50%, something like that. Because like I have some game plans in place to like pay off the tuition at my kid's school, to do some certain things with fiat. So, have you already talked about the fundamentals of Epic and whether it's a solid project? I have not. I mostly just care about the chart, which is why I made a video last week saying that Epic's about to break out, and it did. They're backed by Ripple. There's some good fundamentals. So assuming when you say long uni, how long term is the play? A few days. Do you do stock market analysis or just crypto? If so, what do you think is going on in the stock market? I think we're going to have a blow off top in the stock market. It's going to take about a year, IMO. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. If you trade at 1x leverage, does that mean you're just using your own money? Yeah, I'm okay with that. Especially like, so 1x longs, you could just buy spot. I like the fact that when I do leverage, you know, I'm looking at my P&L in real time. That's why I would do 1x, but 1x shorts, that's like buying it's like the opposite of buying spot or whatever, you know, it's like, so 1x shorts, it makes sense to me. Foregone. Am I misunderstanding? Why long coins now if you think we're going under 110? Today is the bottom for this week. I am convinced that whatever the price, if it's already bottomed out or if it's going to continue to go lower today, that we will not see lower prices on Thursday or Friday. That's why I would long coins today. You think Whiff or Pengu is going to perform more? Pengu. Can you check Jasmine, please? I swear, if you and I, Foregone, like lived in the same city, you would track me down and you would ask me to walk you into your house and take you up to your bedroom and tuck you in and kiss you goodnight. Jasmine's fine. I mean, maybe it could get down to 0.01431, something like that. But it's not that much higher than it right now. So what platform do you use to set longs? BitUnix and Bitmart. 1 or 2x IB on 20x and making a lot. Confidence, brother. Oh man, you're such a badass. Oh baby. All right, Miria. No, don't buy Miria. Absolutely not. Thoughts on Sui? I have a decent bag of Sui. I'm not selling it now. I mean, it's like every other altcoin chart. It's like it put in a lower high and now it might be putting in a higher low. So where do we go from here? I don't know. Do you have an opinion on the ISO 20022 being the future of the banking system, or do you think it's BS? I don't have an opinion whether it's the future or BS. My opinion is that I want to make money off of it. So getting tucked in sounds pretty nice. Oh, Pedro. Oh, quit being mean. I'm gonna make an assumption here, Pedro. You were born between 1986 and 1992. Am I right about that? Or no, between 1986 and 1996. How about that? Quit being mean. Thoughts on Jupiter? I haven't looked at the Jupiter chart in a while. I like it. I like the structure of the chart aside from the fact that it keeps getting rejected the 200-day. Man. What do you think about Zebek? Yeah, bounced off the 50-day. Maybe there's a chance for a rally. Thank you, Bubba Disco. I like it right now. I'm not saying it's going to rally to new all-time highs or anything. I like Zebek right now. Bubba Disco gave me a super chat, so let me answer that question. I really want to know what year Pedro was born in. Layla Lou says, quit lying to everybody. Really? Quit lying to everybody. What do you... All right, Bubba Disco, have 100K to invest, only need a 2x. Where are you putting it? Are you saying one crypto? You're asking for one crypto. HEEHEE. All right. I'm biased. I'm not entirely serious when I say that. All right, one crypto. I'm tempted with Ethereum Classic. I'm tempted to say Ethereum Classic. Jasmine VeChain. Let's say VeChain. All right, Bubba Disco has he. I just, VeChain has to at least 2x from here. At least. That's one that it's like, the reason why I say VeChain, it hasn't pumped all that much from its bottom. The chart doesn't look like death. It has good tokenomics. And so at some point, this thing, you know, it's like Uniswap has more than doubled already. Chainlink has more than doubled from its bottom. There's one that I just think is reliable. Risk to reward is good. I'm going with VeChain. I get most value and clarity watching your lives. Thanks. How do you set 1x? Coinbase only lets you set 3.6x? What? All right, I don't use Coinbase. I mean, 1x, you just, you know, you slide the thing down to 1x. VeChain bullish. I mean, like, I don't love VeChain. I'm 50-50 on VeChain, whether it's bottomed out right now. There's a lot of resistance right above it, but once it breaks through that resistance, I'm very bullish on VeChain. Your opinion, as you exactly know that to be what is wrong with you, Layla? Pedro's a boomer. How much did you lose last cycle from the peak? Unrealized gains are not a loss. Big boy. They are, so my from the peak until I sold, I probably lost $200,000 of unrealized gains. I think. Something like that. I started that cycle. I sold at a gain. I won last cycle, but yeah, it was super depressing the way that I won. And probably that's going to be reality for a lot of us, maybe even me, is like, you know, your portfolio on the day of the peak is probably going to be a lot higher than your portfolio on the day that you sell, that you exit entirely. So let's see. Can you look at XCN? I looked at XCN yesterday. I wasn't in love with it. I'm just like, you know, but XCN, is it going to just bore you to death and then explode like crazy? It's done that twice now. So it may be at a support level, at a level of support right at this moment. But You were right all last year when you said 2025 would be bearish and the 4-year cycle wouldn't play out. I was kind of right. You know, Bitcoin has been a pleasant surprise for me. I said that the end of 2025 was going to be bearish. I don't believe that anymore. But for altcoins, yeah, I mean, it's been miserable. Take on moving ETFs to October. Think it's planned to 100x the bull market, then January, February crash. What? Moving ETFs to October. Oh, you're talking about the approval of ETFs? Maybe that is. But Pedro's a Democrat. All right, Layla. You did a great job of misleading all your followers. Give me some examples of how I misled people. I'm not going to block you yet. But like, there's always somebody who comes in here and it's insane to me. Because like, I have never once lied to you. Like I'm being dead serious. Not a single lie during any of my live streams has come out of my mouth. I tell you what I think is going to happen. There have been times that I have been wrong, but for the most part, I have been dead on. And you're coming in here crying because you lost money on something that I talked about. And there's 100 different cryptos that I talk about. Yes, some are going to go in opposite directions. You like Jerry the Turtle? I have no idea what Jerry the Turtle is. No, Pedro was born in '02. Solana 2x easy. HEEHEE 2x easy. I mean, yeah. I was up 250K in December and didn't listen to you to exit. This time I will this year. Okay. Pundle cooked. I mean, I bought some Pundle after that dump. I chatted with one of the team members. I understand his logic as to why he did what he did, or why they did what they did. Was it the right move or not? I think I'm willing to let time be the answer to that question. He lost money on Pundle. Oh, Pundle Fanatic. Oh, username Pundle Fanatic. Pundle cooked. Okay. That was not Layla who was saying that. It was somebody else. This bull market has been very bad. Bitcoin is pretty much the same price as a year ago. What? Bitcoin's double what it was a year ago. In August of 2024, Bitcoin bottomed out at $48,000. You still like Suimon? I don't know, man. You know, I made a video. It pumped. The Cetus hack happened. I saw it got up to 2 million. I bought the peak on Suimon. I'll be honest. So September will be bearish. Maybe not. I don't know where you're getting that based on what I said. If you lost money, wait till next cycle. Bullish on Chainlink and HBAR? Yeah. Bro, are there scam accounts of you? There are, so my main account got banned. It had 169,000 followers at one point. I haven't yet gotten that account back. And when that account was active, I wouldn't be surprised if I was like one of the top 5 crypto TikTok accounts in all of existence that had fake accounts messaging people asking how their trading was going. I have blocked probably over 1,000 fake Alex Costa accounts. So yes, there are scam accounts of me. Bitcoin was 93K in November, not really a year. Okay, well, let's revisit this in November. It's real hard to know which ones are real. Unfortunately, that's true. Okay, so Follow the accounts that I go live on. There's an answer to that question. You know, which ones are real? Well, this is a real one. I don't talk about crypto on this account except for when I go live. And then what else? You know, WWBTC5. That's my backup crypto account until hopefully I get my my main account back. Hey Alex, a few months back you introduced a one-on-one call. Any plans of redoing it? I am okay with the idea of redoing one-on-one calls. There's only one person that I've gone one-on-one with, and I've gone one-on-one with him like 5 or 6 times. And here's a problem that I think is you might think is kind of funny. I don't remember my login for the site that I signed up for the one-on-one call thing, because I want people to pay me in HEEHEE. I don't remember how to get into that site. So is others a downtrend now? No, others is not in a downtrend. Powell speaking. I'm not going to stream the Powell speech. Jamie, thank you for the follow. XS, thanks for the follow. Yeah, bro, that freaking nosedive to under $1 million the other day. I mean, I bought at 1.3 million, sold it, sold high. Guys, as far as Pundle is concerned, like, all right, so I see Pundle fanatic Rome, after taking all our money, has said he will draw out liquidity anytime he wants to be careful. He did say that. Yep. So what's my response to is Pundle cooked? I am not diamond handing Pundle, that's for sure. But like, there's even this kind of mindset that what if I accumulated enough Pundle that I sold such a big bag that then he got scared and dumped his bag and then I bought back in. I don't know. I mean, whatever the case, I'm not diamond handing Pundle anymore. I have zero conviction with that. But I know people will get just as excited if Pundle gets back up above $50 million. There's a big difference between lying and being wrong. Yeah, absolutely. Outlook for Lofi in 2025 depends on how the market goes. If Sui does well, if the market does well, then Lofi's going to do amazing. You don't care about Powell's speech? Big boy, you've been kind of annoying today. I'm not going to stream. Why would I stream the Powell speech? I always get to prop the guy that admits he's wrong about something than attempting to spin a narrative. Alex is always at least honest when he's wrong about something. That's 100%. Like this Layla person coming in here and saying that I'm, yes, PB Max, this is a real account. Yeah, please give me the follow. J Shep, thanks for the follow. It's not easy. It's not easy. Every day somebody calls me a scammer. Every day it's like multiple people. And I'm like, we're talking about something that is just flat out filled with scams. And we all know, okay, none of you are deluding yourselves here. You guys know that a large majority of cryptos, even ones with like quote unquote very solid fundamentals, that they're going to zero. You know that. And so honest people in this space, honest people can look like liars. And I am telling you full blast that I am not one of those scammers. It's like I burned $7 million of a cryptocurrency that I created. I'm $50,000 down on that particular crypto. What else do you want me to do for those of you who are skeptical? Ignore the haters. All right, it's easy to say ignore the haters. It's harder to live it out, okay? All right, I'm going to have lunch. So thank you guys. Sorry, I'm going to end it on that. All right. Have a good one.